Meet Joe. He's not a bad guy. He's just one of us, full of ideas, full of energy, full of that quiet belief that he could be something. He scrolls through social media and sees people making it big. YouTubers, streamers, business owners, all claiming they started from nothing. And Joe thinks if they can do it, so can I. It's a beautiful thought. But like most beautiful things on the internet, it hides a truth that's not as pretty. Joe believes he can do anything, but he doesn't realize how dangerous that belief can be when it's built on illusion, not understanding. He starts things easily. A new channel, a business idea, a side hustle. Each one begins with a burst of motivation, energy that feels like destiny, but then it fades. The results don't come fast enough. The excitement dies. And Joe moves on to the next thing that looks easier, newer, more promising. It's not that Joe is lazy, he's just conditioned to chase potential, not process. Because that's what this world sells him, that success should be instant, that if you're not growing fast, you're failing. But nobody tells him that slow progress is still progress, and most people quit before they ever even see it. Joe's belief that he could do anything wasn't wrong. It's that he thought he could do it without failing, without patience, without grind. And that's where his journey really begins. At first, Joe is unstoppable. He's got that new project energy, the kind that makes everything feel possible. He stays up late watching tutorials, studying algorithms, writing ideas. He feels inspired, almost addicted to the possibility of what could be. But a few weeks in, something shifts. The numbers don't move. The results don't come. That early excitement turns into quiet frustration. He starts overthinking. Maybe I picked the wrong idea. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this just isn't for me. So he pivots again. YouTube, streaming, dropshipping, freelancing, whatever promises quick success. But each time, he hits the same wall. Because he never stayed long enough in one thing to get past the boring part. The phase where growth is invisible but real. He's doing what almost everyone does today, chasing shortcuts and calling it progress. He sees people online succeeding in months and thinks they just got lucky. He doesn't see the years behind that moment, the sleepless nights, the failures they never posted. Joe's caught in the illusion of easy wins, and every time he fails, he blames the idea, never realizing the problem isn't the path, it's his pace. You can't win the marathon if you quit every mile. And Joe? He's been quitting every mile. Months pass. Joe's desk changes. His interests change, but the feeling doesn't. That same emptiness after every failed attempt. He starts to lose confidence, not because he's incapable, but because he's exhausted by starting over again and again. He's convinced that the next thing will fix it. The new project, the new method, the new secret everyone's talking about. But no matter what he tries, it always ends the same. Because the truth is, Joe doesn't want to build. He wants to arrive. He's chasing results, not reasons. And when you chase results, every delay feels like failure. He's forgotten that nothing is perfect the first time. That every master started by being terrible at what they do. You don't fail because you're not capable. You fail because you don't stay long enough to become capable. Joe doesn't know that yet, but he's about to learn the hard way. There's only so long you can run in circles before you realize you're not moving. For Joe, that moment came quietly. No big collapse, just an ordinary morning. Same desk, same notebook, same silence. He looked around and felt nothing. No excitement, no hope, just the weight of trying too many times and going nowhere. He wasn't angry anymore. He was just tired. Tired of chasing trends. Tired of comparing himself to everyone online. Tired of waiting for life to start working. He scrolled through success stories feeling smaller each time. He thought everyone else was miles ahead. But what he didn't see were their failures, their unseen effort, their slow grind. He was comparing his behind the scenes to their highlight reels. And that's a battle nobody wins. Days turn to weeks. Joe started avoiding his dreams altogether. He told himself maybe it just wasn't meant to be. But deep down, a small voice whispered, maybe it's not luck. Maybe it's time. Time to stop searching for shortcuts. Time to start learning the long way. For the first time in years, Joe stopped chasing. He didn't quit. He paused. And in that pause, he began to see. He looked at his old notebook, all those abandoned ideas, and for once he didn't see failure. He saw attempts, proof that he tried again and again. He realized he wasn't failing because he was weak. He was failing because he expected reward before growth. He wanted the result more than the skill, the recognition more than the process. But now something changed. He stopped asking, "How long until I succeed?" and started asking, "How much better can I get today?" He stopped chasing the finish line and started walking the road. He began liking what he was doing, not because it was paying off yet, but because it was making him better. He realized the secret that most people never learn. You don't fall behind when progress is slow. You fall behind when you stop. It didn't happen fast, but it finally started happening. Joe began showing up again, not out of hype, but out of habit. One video, one project, one effort at a time. He stopped chasing perfection. He just worked, improved, corrected, learned. He failed again, but this time he didn't quit. He fixed things. He had adjusted. He kept going. He realized that slow progress feels invisible until it isn't. Because one day you look back and realize you've climbed miles without even noticing. He wasn't famous. He wasn't rich. But he was finally consistent. And that consistency built something no quick success ever could. Respect for himself. Joe stopped needing validation. He no longer worked for applause. He worked for growth. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't easy. But it was real. And it was finally paying off. Quietly, steadily, honestly. One day, Joe uploaded another video. Just another piece of his routine. No expectations. No excitement. But this time, it took off. People connected with it. They said it felt honest, different, real. Joe smiled. Not because he made it, but because he finally understood why it worked. It worked because he stopped faking it. He stopped chasing image and started speaking truth. He didn't blow up overnight. He built something that lasted. And when the results finally came, they didn't feel loud or dramatic. They felt calm, like peace after a storm. Because the real reward wasn't success itself. It was who he became in the process. Patience had replaced ego. Consistency had replaced chaos. And gratitude had replaced desperation. He finally understood. You don't become successful when people notice you. You become successful when you stop giving up. Joe's story isn't special, and that's exactly what makes it worth telling. He's an everyman of our age, the guy who wanted it fast, failed 100 times, and finally learned that the only real shortcut is showing up every day. He learned that you can't fake patience. That failure isn't a wall. It's a doorway you walk through again and again until it stops scaring you. He learned that the process is the point, that if you don't learn to love the climb, you'll never survive the summit, because results fade, trends fade, but habits, they stay. Joe found peace in effort, purpose, in repetition, and success in becoming, and maybe that's the truth we all need. You don't have to blow up overnight. You just have to stay, because one day, after enough quiet days, you'll look back and realize you didn't fail at all. You were just becoming ready. So keep going, keep learning, keep building your story, brick by brick, because even if it takes years, even if it's silent, now, even if nobody claps, it's still worth it. That's what Joe learned. And maybe, deep down, that's what we're all here to learn too.